Hello everyone, welcome to Ian's Bricks. I'm Ian and today I'm going to be talking through Lego sets that are potentially going to be retiring at the end of 2023. This is a list that was produced by Brick Fanatics. I'll leave a link to their full list of all the different ranges and sets in the link below in the description. But I've already made a few lists like Star Wars and Harry Potter and other themes as well. There's loads and loads of other themes. I'm not going to cover every single one, but what I wanted to do is just go through all the other themes that I haven't covered already, just to sort of go through potentially what sets I think could do okay once they've retired. And these might be sets that you just want to buy yourself and build, which is great. Obviously you'd want to get them fairly soon, because if they are going to be retiring at the end of 2023, then you might want to get them now before the prices go up. And if you're a Lego investor like myself, again, you might want to buy some of these sets to Lego invest in. Just bear in mind, not all of these sets will retire at the end of 2023. There's probably going to be some items on this list which get extended, and there'll also be some things that aren't on this list which may still retire at the end of 2023. So just bear that in mind. So I'm going to start off with Lego Art, and there are actually 4 Lego Art sets that are retiring at the end of this year. The only one that I think potentially that could do okay is the Jim Lee Batman collection. That set is $104.99 in the UK, $119.99 in US dollars and $119.99 in euros. 4,167 pieces, but you know with these art sets you get lots of little tiny pieces with that. Released in March of 2022, so quite a short shelf life on this one. And I think because it's Batman, but also because it's kind of Jim Lee, and it's kind of just the style of the pictures that they do on that, I think they're really quite nice and quirky. I think you can make 2 or 3 different pictures. You can do Batman, you can do other things as well with it. So it's quite a nice little set. Again, I'll be looking at getting a big discount on that. I wouldn't want to be paying over £100 in the UK for that particular set. But I think of all the 4 sets that are retiring at the end of 2023, or possibly retiring, that is the one that potentially could do okay. Lego art sets some of them have done okay and some of them not so good. So for example, the Beatles one that they had out a couple of years ago, that's actually done quite well post-retirement. No minifigures of course with any of these, and something like the Marilyn Monroe one really hasn't done that well. I think that's even still in stock after a whole year. I actually quite like it. I bought that one and I built it. It's a really nice set, but for whatever reason it's not been particularly popular. So just bear in mind that Lego Arts is still a little bit on the fence as to whether they're a good thing to Lego invest in, but certainly if you're a buyer, if you like the Jim Lee Batman art set, get it now before it retires. Lego Architecture, there is only one set apparently that's going to be retiring in 2023, which is 21054, the White House. It's $89.99 in the UK, $99.99 in dollars and euros, 1,483 pieces, and was released in June of 2020. So this has been on the shelves for quite a while. I think certainly if you're based in the States, this is going to be a popular set. Obviously the White House, such an iconic building in Washington DC, and it's quite a nice build as well. I mean, I haven't built this myself, but I've seen reviews of people building it. It is a very nice nice set. Again, you'd be wanting to look at getting this on a discount from places like Amazon or elsewhere if you possibly can. Next on the list, Super Mario. So most Super Mario sets I will just avoid. I think for me the actual style of play, these sort of sets that they do with the coursers, not interested at all. There's so many of them. I mean, they're quite nice, some of them that they do Lego, but I think there's just been overkill and they've released so many different sets. So I'm not going to show you the full list of all the sets that are retiring. There's so many of them, and most of them I don't really care about. But the one set that I think is worth potentially getting is 71374, the Nintendo Entertainment System. It's $229.99 in the UK, $269.99 in dollars and in euros. 2,646 pieces. Was released in August of 2020, and this I think in the UK is a Smith's Toys exclusive. I have seen it cheaper. I think I bought this at just over £200, but then there was a price increase, so just bear that in mind. But I really like the set. I have built it myself. I did a review of it at the time. The TV that you get with it that moves around, and it just brilliant, and even the Nintendo, the box that that you get with it as well, the actual gaming console is quite a nice build as well. I think just because this is quite unusual, I think this is going to be the first of the sort of gaming consoles to retire, so it's going to be interesting to see how this one does. Obviously no minifigures with this set, but I still think it's going to do particularly well once it retires. I just think it's unusual, it's quirky. Again, you'd be wanting maybe to get a discount on this, or if you're going to be buying it from Lego, double up with some VIP points and gift with purchase. But I just think it's quite a nice set, so I'm probably going to be getting maybe a couple of these. Quite a high price point on this one and quite a large box to store, but still quite a nice set. I think it could do quite well once it retires. Some of the Lego seasonal sets, I'm going to kind of rattle through these reasonably quick because there's a lot of things on this list. We've got the 40426, the Christmas wreath, and the 40499 Santa's sleigh. Both nice Christmas sets. They've recently been actually reduced in my local store in Southampton, but if they are both retiring, they've both been reasonably popular. People are always going to want Christmas things, so especially if you're sort of in the US and Canada and Australia and the UK and elsewhere sort of in Europe where Christmas is popular. I think if you're sort of based in maybe Japan or China, wherever, Christmas isn't going to be such a draw, so just bear that in mind. But certainly I think those particular sets could do very, very well once they retire. Another one is 40522, the Valentine's Lovebirds. This is under £15, $15, and this is sort of regularly sort of hinted as quite a nice set. People just like the look of it. I think it's quite difficult to get hold of. So yeah, nothing too special with this one. It's quite a low price, but again, only probably available from Lego stores. So if you can get maybe one or two of these potentially could do okay. And then the final one is 80111, the Lunar New Year Parade. This is only released this year. It's just under £90 in the UK, 130 in America, and 100 in euros. 173 pieces. That doesn't seem right. The piece count doesn't seem right at all on that one. Anyway, released in December of 2022. I'll check the piece count. So I like this set. It's quite a nice build. I've seen a few people build it. It of course comes with that fantastic purple space helmet and oxygen tank, amongst many other wonderful pieces as well. Out of the two New Year display pieces, I think that's the better of the two, is the parade one rather than the other display piece. But yeah, nice little set this, and I think this potentially could do okay. I think some of the Chinese New Year sets maybe haven't performed as well as I maybe thought they would. Maybe it's just a bit of a niche market, but certainly if you are in the Far East or anywhere with you know, anywhere where Chinese New Year is popular, I think this could potentially do quite well. Lego creator sets. I'm going to just go through these very, very quickly. We've got 30128, the Dolphin and Turtle, 31130, the Sunken Treasure Mission, 31131, the Downtown Noodle Shop. They all potentially could do okay once they've retired. Nothing too special, but I think they're nice looking sets. A couple of good ones to look out for is 31132, the Viking ship. I think that could do particularly well. I think those kind of sets with ships and Vikings are always going to be popular, especially if you can get it discounted. 40460, the Roses, and 40461, the Tulips. They again are going to be doing okay. I think once they retire, they've been reasonably hard to get hold of, especially the Roses. I think are probably going to be more popular, but they could be something again that people are going to be, Lego are going to keep doing flowers, and people are going to keep wanting those flowers, and certainly in the build up to say Mother's Day and Valentine's Day, those things always do quite well. And then the final one on this list is 40469, the Tuk Tuk. I just think it's quite quirky, it's unusual, it's not quite minifigure scale, but it kind of works, and I think it's just an unusual vehicle. I think the flowers and the Tuk Tuk, I think they're only available from Lego stores and Lego.com, so fairly difficult-ish to get hold of, but I just think they're just unusual, quirky sets, and I think they could potentially do quite well. We have one Lego Disney item which I want to talk about. Loads of Lego Disney stuff. There's princess castles and all sorts of things. I know a lot of people like investing in this kind of thing. I'm not a huge fan myself, but one thing that potentially caught my eye was the 76832, the Buzz Lightyear XL-15 spaceship. It's $44.99 in the UK, $49.99 in dollars and euros, 397 pieces released in April of 2022. I don't think the film of Buzz Lightyear has done particularly well, and the reviews haven't been great, but this is quite a nice looking spaceship. I think just bear in mind that the film hasn't done well, so potentially I'm not sure this is going to do great things, but it could do okay. Spaceships are normally quite popular, and I think if you can get this at a discounted price, I certainly wouldn't be paying full price. This could potentially do okay, but I'm not expecting huge things from that. It's just sort of a middling, it could do okay one. So we have some Lego Avatar sets next. A couple of things here. 4055 for the Brickheads, the Jake Scully and Avatar. I've talked about it in my Brickhead videos. That could potentially do quite well. As could 75573, the Floating Mountains. I think I like this one because that is a set that harks back to the original film. So the original film has sort of always got that popularity. I think the Avatar film, the second one, has done quite well. So this could potentially do okay, but it's quite a high price point. £90 in the UK, $100 in euros. So maybe a little bit expensive, but it's just an interesting build. I like it. It just reminds me of the film with the helicopter, which I'm not a fan of helicopters. It's quite a nice one, but it's sort of the build in the headquarters that they use in the original Avatar film, and you get most of the main characters as well as one of their little horse things as well, which I can't remember the proper name. Please tell me in the comments what the name of the Avatar horses are called, because I can't remember. So certainly it's got a few nice pieces in that one. Lego Jurassic World. Some of the sets do okay with this theme. Most of them I'm probably going to be avoiding. I won't be investing in. But one which stands out was 76956, the T-Rex Breakout. $89.99 in the UK, just under $100 in euros, 1,212 pieces released in April of 2022. I think the T-Rex Breakout is quite a nice set. I'm surprised it's retiring so early, so this could potentially be one of those sets that maybe doesn't retire at the end of 2023, so bear that in mind. But it's such an iconic scene from Jurassic Park, the original Jurassic Park film, from all the way back in 1993. I always remember going to see that at the cinema. I think I went at midnight to see it at a midnight showing. It was that hyped up at the time. Still a great film to watch, and even now the CGI effects stand up pretty well after almost 30 years, isn't it? Goodness me, making myself feel really, really old. Anyway, so I just think it's such a classic scene with the cars. One of the cars is on its roof. You've got the big T-Rex, and I think it's just going to be particularly a popular set. So keep an eye out for that one, especially if you can get it at a reduced price as well. Lego Monkie Kid. I'm still on the fence with Lego Monkie Kid as to whether it's a good thing to invest in. I think the cartoon does reasonably well. I haven't seen it ever. It's not really my cup of tea, but certainly I think if you're in the Chinese or Japanese markets, these could do very, very well. But outside of those markets, I'm not quite sure how well Monkie Kid is doing. I have invested in a couple of the larger Monkie Kid sets already, so well, fingers crossed they'll do quite well once a year or two has passed. But two sets I wanted to mention. We've got 80038 Monkie Kid's Team Van and 80039 the Heavenly Realms. So the prices of these, the Team Van is just under £90 in the UK, 130 in US dollars and 100 euros. 1,406 pieces, and the Heavenly Realms is £160, $190 and 180 euros, 2,433 pieces. Both sets released in June of 2022, so quite short shelf lives. And what I like about these, yes, they are the more expensive sets on the list, but I like the Team Van because it's one of these sort of modular things. I think it comes to bits. I've not actually seen a full in-depth review. I've just sort of seen the pictures, but it just looks like quite a nice, unusual set. And also the Heavenly Realms, it comes with all these sort of card pieces. Again, it's one of these sort of display, a bit like the Flower Fruit Mountain that they did with all the waterfalls in the past. Just an unusual set with lots of pieces, and I just think they look quite nice. Again, I think if you're based in, say, the UK or the US, that you might want to maybe not get too many of these. They're quite expensive, but they are quite nice sets. Only really available from Lego and Lego.com here in the UK. So again, you're probably going to have to pay full price. So look out for discounts and special offers and things like that with free gifts with purchase. But they are the two potential that I liked of all the sets that I had. I look at them all, but those two were the ones that stood out most for me. And I think finally we have the ones I want to talk about is Lego Marvel. Quite a lot of sets here again in their retiring list. I don't want to go through them all, but the standouts for me, you've got 76187, which is Venom, which is kind of the head or the bust, a bit like Carnage. This has been slightly more widely available, I think, than say the say the Carnage helmet head was, but still I think this could do okay. You can get this at reduced price, which is quite good, so keep an eye out for that one. The heads and the helmets tend to do quite well once they're retired, even if they're quite readily available. We have 76193, the Guardian ships from Guardians in the Galaxy. I got a couple of these recently at more than half price off, although the boxes were unfortunately slightly damaged. But saying that, I still think it's a nice set. The ship looks quite good with the sort of the funny wings on the side of it, and I just think it's a nice thing. Again, quite expensive, so if you get it at a reduced price, it's a good thing to go for, I think. I've also got 76208, the Goat Boat. That's around about the £60, $60 mark, €60. I just think it's unusual. Boats tend to do quite well. I have to say the goats themselves I don't particularly like because they're brick built rather than moulded figures, but that aside, I think just the way that it looks, it's just quite quirky. It almost looks like a Viking ship. It's just very, very unusual, and it's not got a very long shelf life on that one, released in April of 2022, so that potentially could do well, and that is, I think, generally available, so again, maybe discounts on Amazon for that. And then I'm a bit on the fence with the next one, but we've got 76209 Thor's Hammer. It's around about £100, $100 and just €120, just under 1,000 pieces, released in March of 2022. Not a lot of people have been talking about this. I think as a display piece it kind of looks okay, but it's just a little bit weird. You do get minifigure with it, but again, I'm sort of on the fence with this one. I might get one or two of these myself, but I'm certainly not going to go all in and get get loads of these, because I don't think they're going to do fantastically well. But quite a nice building experience, I think, and potentially could do okay. I think the Thor's Hammer as a sort of thing is very, very well known, so maybe that will help it along as well. There are lots and lots of other themes which I haven't talked about. For example, we've got Lego Technic. I tend not to buy a lot of Lego Technic. We've got things like Lego Friends, which I don't buy, and obviously we've got Dots, which is now retiring at the end of 2023 anyway, so probably don't be buying any Dots for Lego investing. And what have I missed as well? Probably Duplo. I tend not to buy any Duplo, and Minecraft as well, and Ninjago. They're just kind of themes that I don't invest in. I think for me there are so many different genres and themes that you can invest in. I'm not bothered about it. There's so much of everything that I've already got a lot of different themes and things, so I don't want to start getting into things like Friends and Minecraft, just because I like to kind of keep it just to sort of certain things like Harry Potter, Star Wars and City and things like that. So I haven't got any suggestions from any of those different themes. However, all the lists of all the retiring items are available on the Brick Fanatics website, so go and take a look at that if you haven't already. Anyway, that's pretty much everything. Sorry for rattling through this one. There was quite a lot to talk about, so I didn't want to take up too much time talking about each individual item, but I hope you enjoyed this list anyway. These, of course, are only my ideas and thoughts, and so these lists can actually change, so just bear that in mind. But I hope you enjoyed watching. Thank you very much if you have been watching right till the end. Much appreciated, and until the next video, we'll see you then. Take care for now. Bye.